So there is a new app for systems called Octocon. Now this is for tracking switches, making journal entries, external communication between each other, things like that. And yeah, and it's worth mentioning there is this other app called SimplyPL, which does pretty much the exact same thing. Now this has been around a lot longer, and I use it almost every single day. Now, for a while, SimplyPL was kind of the only place you could go. It's kind of like the only thing that did this. Well, there was also PLKit, but no one actually tracks switches in PLKit. So I'm gonna be trying this new app out, and I'm going to be seeing what I like, what I don't like, if there's anything different from SimplyPL, if there's anything that's the same, all that sort of thing. And yeah. So yeah, let's get on to it. So an issue I immediately ran into when trying to run Octocon was that, well, it didn't actually work on my phone. It requires a newer version of iOS, and I'm on iOS 15. Keep in mind that SimplyPL does not have this issue and runs perfectly on my device, and in fact even runs on my older iPad mini too, as well. And this could potentially be an issue if you're stuck using an older device or otherwise can't update. I had a look for the Android users who might be using this, and it's a similar story. Octocom requires Android 9, however, SimplyPL only requires Android 6. So yeah. So I grabbed a bit of a newer phone and I downloaded the app, and it's on here, so you can finally actually look at it and compare it to SimplyPL. So like I said earlier, I've been using SimplyPL for a very long time, almost 2 years now, ever since I got diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, and I use it all the time. So let's have a look at Octocon, and the first thing I immediately notice is that you can only log in using Google, Apple, or Discord. I don't like this. This means that Discord knows about the fact you're using Octocon. It means Google knows you're using Octocon. It means Apple knows you're using Octocon. Now, technically, like, they could check oh, you use the App Store to download it, but Discord wouldn't know. It's just generally, I would prefer either a option to do it locally, which has been requested of some people quite a lot I've seen online, or a way to do, at least, have an account with them specifically, so you're not, implicitly sharing anything with these other big companies. So yeah, and SimplyPL does that you have an account with them specifically, so I will give it that. So anyway, it's also mean, let me go set up my account real quick. So I set up my account and immediately let's get started. Welcome to Octocon. Octocon is the all-in-one solution for people with dissociative disorders like DID or OSDD. To manage their alters, find resources, and express themselves. What can it do? Octocon offers a variety of features to help you manage your dissociative disorder, including logging fronts, in-out journaling, and front push notifications for your friends. Now, logging fronts and front push notifications for your friends are both features of SimplyPL. And you can journal to an extent, though it's more of a chat system in SimplyPL than a journal. How to get started. So click next, sure. View a system. Well, okay, so this is also something SimplyPL has. It has a singlet mode and a system mode. I'm going to be looking at system mode because, well, I have DID. So, yep. So, how to add front onto the front. Okay, this is interesting. So you swipe left to start or stop fronting, and you swipe further to set them as the main front. So I can set Atlas as front, I can set Gaia as front, and this person. If I swipe even further, I can make them like an even bigger fronter. Can I set 2 of these big fronters? Only 1. Okay. And then I swipe again to unset them. I can also make it so I swipe left to start fronting and swipe right to stop fronting. sorry, to set them as main. So I swipe this and I swipe the other way. I can't swipe the other way. I have to swipe them this way. Oh, if I swipe them that way, then that way. I see. So let's get started. You're all set. Once you start using Octocon, you can take a look at the settings app to customize the app to your liking. Tap button below to join the Discord community. If you use Discord, you can invite the Octocon bot to your Discord server and send messages as your alters. Everything syncs with the app automatically. Oh, this is interesting. So this is typically what you use the Plural Kit Discord bot for. However, this looks like it integrates with this app, and it's like their own solution for doing like a similar thing, which is very neat. Use SimplyPlural or Plural Kit. You can use the SimplyPlural app or Plural Kit Discord bot. You can import your data, including alters, into Octocon to get started quickly. Sweet. Okay. Okay, well that first off, that's annoying. If you scroll down at all, it doesn't display the stuff at the bottom. Okay, so I'm noticing immediately some differences. First off, it looks completely different, but it calls them alters and all alters. However, in SimplyPlural, if we open it up, they are called members. But jag kan jaga en alter, so okay. Name, I guess Yi. Alright. Okay, this looks pretty much the same. If I go to here, Yi, you see it's got like more or less looks very similar. It's got name, pronouns, description, a color you can set. In fact, changing the color looks almost identical. And yeah, you got Discord info, so yeah. And then fields and journal. And in SimplyPlural, you have profile, info. So again, this is like kind of like probably fields, actually, how the fields work. Create a field, so I don't know. Gender, right? Alright, so now if I go here, I can set gender to Demigo, so that's basically like the same thing as the info field. Okay, so this is mostly the same as the info field. SimplyPlural. And then there's a journal, which I'll look at later. So I said I could import my alters from SimplyPlural. So how do I do that? Settings. Import alters SimplyPlural. Okay, so I just give the SimplyPlural token. That's easy. You just go to tokens in there somewhere. Yep, and you give it a token. Access all your data, imports, and that's done. So now we have all these in here, and we can swipe left to set them as front, so I can set myself as fronting. Now I will note that all the groups out here. So if we look at my actual members in SimplyPlural, you'll see there's a frequent fronters here and then these inside there. However, that is not included in here. What is included is pronouns, description, color. I guess security level is always private on here. Okay, so the fields are not included. So on here, for gender, Demigo, right? It didn't include that in Octocon. So we're gonna dock some points for that kind of crap. Can you even categorize them? Is there like a way to do that? Like, add a tag, okay. And now hosts. Okay, and now add alters to the tag. Yi. Okay, this works more or less the same. You can set the description for it and stuff as well. And yeah, I show up in there and down here. And if we look in here, it's very similar to how it works. So fair enough. But I notice I show up in both. Is that just because I'm fronting? I'm still in here, even though I'm also in here, which is actually how SimPFL does it by default. If you go to options, there is an option to hide people who are not in the root group, and if we turn that off, everyone shows up. So I'm curious if this has a similar option. Okay. Parents. Oh, hide alters and tags from root. Yeah, there is. So there is an option for it. And I bet if I enable that, yeah, I don't show up now, but I show up inside hosts. Yeah, now I'm here. Okay. I see. What else can we do? So we can make a journal. So set up end-to-end encryption. Sure. It's neat if it's end-to-end encrypted. So I can create a journal entry. So my amazing journal. Hello. And I can specify an alter to it. I can actually specify multiple alters to it. So I could say this is like Sophie and me. I can change this Cairo. And seems to be it. Okay, now SimPFL doesn't work like that. SimPFL uses a chat system, which looks very similar to Discord in how like it's structured, and you can send messages like as any like alter you want. I don't use this very often. I also noticed under here I can also write like a journal entry in here. So hello, hey, right. Now that's there. There's a similar feature in SimPFL as well. Well, you can leave a note for someone, and you see it's kind of the same, like hello, hi, and yeah, kind of the same thing. Though I will note that there is a feature that is missing here, which I use a crap load, and that is that if I want to send a message to someone, right, next time they front, SimPFL has a feature for that. There's a message board here, and you can specify like who's sending the message, and be like, hey, how are you, ? And then next time this person is marked as in front, they will get a notification telling them to check the message board. And I have to click yes 3 times, so I guess they copied that too. So that's actually a feature I use all the time. So I probably won't be using this as like my main thing. So you can create a poll, and now I'll create like a vote poll. I can look how this works. End time, I don't know, tomorrow. Yeah. And then choice poll. Also end tomorrow, and I don't know. We can add choices to this, like hello, and how do I add more choices? Hello. I can have one choice. What the hell? Cast a vote. Choice. Hello. I don't know how to add another choice, but sure. Hello world. Sure. Whatever. Surely there's a way to like add a second one. Am I missing something? Alright, I can't figure out how to add a second choice. And I can vote on this one. Yeah, sure, you know, me. I can leave a comment on that too. And let's have a look in Simply Pro, how it does it. It's very much the same. You can choose a vote or a custom poll or custom hey. I can choose the options. It's actually clear how to add to. Hello world, I can set a description for the poll. And set my want to end. And of course, I can cast a vote as someone. And hey, look, there's even the circle from once you cast your votes. So, yeah, pretty much the same. So let's look at the front history. So you see, if I look at front history, it shows me and me. And if I set some more in, like, I don't know, add these people in, maybe remove Mia, maybe remove Ellie, maybe add add you, maybe add you. I'm just kind of randomly doing stuff to simulate, like, actually using it for a bit. So if we look at history now, we can see a list of everyone who's here. And in Simply Pro, its front history gives you a graph. It's like a visual indication of how long someone's been in front for. If we click on them, it says like how long they were, you know. But if we click this button for history, we actually can see a list similar to the one we saw earlier. And another feature this has is this analytics button, where you can say like who fronts often in the morning, who fronts often in the day, evening, night, and like fronting durations, how long someone's fronted in total, how long they front on average, how long they front max, how long they front minimum, etc. And there is not seem to be any way to get this option at all on here. So and resources in here, it just has their Discord and where to invite the bot and the website. On Simply Pro's resources page, which it does have I've useful links or something, yeah. Links to the Plural Association, more than one info, PLD resources, and a few other things. Now, the thing is it bundles in, like, endogenic plurality stuff in with this. I'll talk about that later in the video, actually. And so I think that's all of the main features. So now I think we should look at the settings, see how we can customize it. So you can change the appearance, you can change it to light mode or dark mode or same as device. And you can also do this in Simply Pro. I think under accessibility, you can use light mode, which looks like this. You can use the dark mode, which is what I normally use. Or you can match the device settings. And Simply Pro also lets you change, like, so this is how it normally looks. It lets you change the color of it to any color you want. And Octocon, how does it handle this? You can change the theme color to a bunch of different options, but you can't choose any color, so I guess that's kind of a downside. You can pick any color you want on Simply Pro, but not on this. And there's OLED mode. Functionality, you can show alter IDs, you can use tab layout, or you can hide alters from the root, like I showed earlier. You can change it from button to swipe, whatever. We saw that when we first set up the app. And what is this corner style? Like, let's try that. What does that look like? Okay, well, now these all look like kind of squarish. And with the buttons option, it looks a lot more similar to how Simply Pro looks. You see. And the round options looks like Simply Pro if you don't have the fancy avatars or anything. So yeah, pretty standard, I guess, like fairly usable. Accessibility, so you can change the font to EXE readable or open dyslexic. In Simply Pro, you can only change it to EXE readable, but not anything else. You can make the font bigger. Oh, at least in theory, maybe. Yeah. You can change the contrast. And I noticed in here there was a high contrast option. So actually I caught it, so I'm gonna keep that on. And you can disable animations, which I'm guessing is what this does. I don't know what Spotlight Tips does, but sure. And then there's security, and there's some interesting stuff in here. There's an option to lock the app with a pin. Stealth mode, which when enabled will make you launch the app and see a fake app that looks like a news aggregator. And you tap the Octocon logo twice, I believe, to get back into the actual app. So it'll look like, just a news app. And this is useful for anyone who might look at your phone. This is a feature SimPPL does not have at all. If you look at SimPPL's app settings, app security, it only has the option to lock it with a password. So yeah, I will say though, showing the current news to a bunch of people who have trauma and our system might not be the best idea, but whatever. And quick exit is if you tap anywhere that's not interactive, the app closes. So yeah. And of course you can lock it with a pin. And then there's the custom fields. And the only other thing guys to look at, I guess, is you can disable push notifications, and there's a singlet mode. So if you enable singlet mode, you can only see your friends and the resources page and your profile, and that's about it. So overall, I'd say it's a fairly usable app. I could see someone using it, and I could see someone loving it, and it could be the best thing you could ever use, and you might be perfect for you. So I did a little bit of research on the app online by just searching its name, and the only thing I could find that wasn't just its website or the App Store page is a Reddit thread on a not-so-great subreddit that shall not be named, that is known for harassing random systems online and claiming that their experiences aren't real for some reason. And they note that Octocon is a new app similar to SimPPL and PLKit, but it's anti-endo. Now, but I'm kind of curious if the entire reason why this app was created is simply to just be an anti-endo version of SimPPL. However, in the Octocon Discord, they have a note about their stance on non-traumagenic systems. And they claim that although the tool was originally made for target people with dissociative disorders, and that is who they are primarily going to be their target demographic and who they make their features for, it is not anti-endo, and it's also not pro-endo. They take a stance of neutrality on system Discord and generally object to harassment of all users and trying to gatekeep access to Octocon who can use it. If it helps you, then you're welcome to use it. So they would very much probably not be a fan of such subreddits that like to harass systems all the time. So, yeah. And they do not condone coercing individuals or communities to replace existing platforms of Octocons, and they should be free to utilize that technology that helps them, whether that's Octocon or Discord or a different Discord bot or mobile app or both. So in other words, they aren't anti-endo, but they also don't explicitly care like if you're endo or not. So another reason I suspected is that the Octocon app is open source while SimPPL is not. And this is actually true. SimPPL is not open source. The SimPPL backend is open source, and the SimPPL SDK for interacting with that backend is open source. However, the SimPPL app itself is not. So this could be the reason. However, I am not actually sure, and there's no official reason stated for why this is made versus any other app or tool that already exists for this exact purpose. However, it's worth noting at this point about Octocon being open source and SimPPL not being open source might actually not be the case for much longer. SimPPL has repeatedly said they like to open source their code, And they're actually working on doing that. They just have issues with legal stuff at the moment that is currently preventing them from doing so. Another issue I could see is potentially the idea of Simply Plus, a planned subscription for Simply Plural to add extra features, and maybe they want to distance themselves from that. Who knows?